All right. I'm gonna give y'all what you need to catch some fish tomorrow. Now,
right there, cookies.
I got the lucky cookies, huh? I got you. Get you one of them.
Oh hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is it right here. You gonna catch them? You take one of them cookies. Mm-hmm. All right. Griff, if you zero tomorrow, just for the record, you didn't take a cookie. You would take two, man. These things are awesome.
Are they them
homemade cookies?
Are they them special cookies?
Special cookies, man.
They got that good stuff.
Grab a couple of them, yeah. Okay. Yeah, man.
One's good. What if I zero tomorrow and I did take a cookie?
Hey, well, it's not the cookies. Hey everyone, so this is it. The final tournament of the BFL Piedmont Division. The Super Tournament starts Saturday and Sunday. Top 20% make the cut, fish Sunday. And we are at Kerr Lake and or Bugs Island Lake, depending on what you prefer to call it. And it's going to be a grinder. You know, this time of year, you know, North Carolina, Virginia seems to be really challenging. And I see these next few days being no different. But I'm excited. You know, Kerr Lake is a neat place. A lot of tournaments go here. There's been a lot of big tournaments over the years here, and I've spent a lot of time here, and so have my buddies, and we're all looking forward to it. It's a neat place. You know, we're staying up here near Clarksville, and there's a lot of different ways you can fish. So really looking forward to it, and let's see what happens. Mike, is this the same hoopty you had before?
Yeah. Another thing's the Forerunner, but it's so bad on gas. I don't drive it much. My neighbor gave me this. It's sat in his yard behind his house to the
This is, I believe this is a classic right here, Mike.
Yeah, I can get a classic tag for it. Get that Haggard.
Hey, so it's October 1st, and we're out here at Kerr Lake, and I got Mike Shatley with me this time, and we're going to see what we can figure out in this lake. It's been really tough. The water temperatures have dropped a lot, but it's a beautiful day, and we're going to get after it. So practice starts now out here. All right, so me and Mike took off, and we fished around Clarksville for probably the first hour to hour and a half. The footage probably is not that interesting. I didn't put it on here. We fished a lot of points, a lot of rocks. We did fish some bridge pilings, a lot of man-made structure, fished around some deep channel bends, looked for bait, you know, through some Carolina rigs, through some deep diving crankbaits, through some shaky heads. I think Mike threw a worm quite a bit. Really did not have any success at all, and it certainly was becoming what I thought it would be, super tough. And after we had done that for probably, I don't know, 2 hours, we took off and we went to the back of a pocket. You can see the water's a little dirtier here, and I thought, well, let me just try fishing shallow. And a lot of times, this time of year, especially in the fall, when I can't get bit out deep, I usually can catch 1 or 2 really shallow fish. My personal opinion was this tournament was going to be won out deeper, maybe even on suspended fish. But, you know, for a guy to come up and practice one day trying to find suspended fish out in this big lake is really difficult to do. I also ran way up the river. You don't see it here, but ran way up past Buffalo Creek, up past Bluestone, and I had never gone up that far before. I was told the river really gets shallow and you have to really understand and, you know, where the channels are at and know what you're doing to get up that far. And I got to tell you, I think, you know, that's correct. I literally was in probably a foot and a half water out in the middle of the river, not too far past Buffalo Creek. And I know some guys were running up there. I just got too nervous to do it and decided that I wasn't going to commit. And, you know, we ultimately ended up in this pocket that you see right here, and we ended up fishing shallow. We caught a couple shorts. I think I caught maybe one 8-inch fish or 10-inch fish. Mike caught one that might have been 14 on a worm dragging around, but it was super slow. And the clock just, you know, kept on ticking. There was no docks here, but there was some wood underneath the water. You can't really see it. But that's what we were fishing, kind of off the bank. There was some wood. And from there, we switched it up. And I found some docks and thought, well, maybe I can find a few fish on docks. You know, Kerr is not a dock lake, but my thought was probably not a whole lot of guys were fishing them. And at this point, in my mind, I'm thinking if I can catch 2 fish, 3 fish, I probably will make the regional. You know, that was the goal for this tournament. And I knew it was going to take, you know, I don't know, a couple fish. Last ABA tournament, I was told it took 7 pounds for 2 days to make the cut. I mean, it was crazy. So that was my thought. Can I catch a couple on these docks? And frankly, I did not. I fished a lot of docks, fished, you know, some soft plastics. I threw some jigs. I threw some spinner baits. You know, this time of year, you want to think you can catch some fish on spinner baits. Didn't have any luck doing that. I also threw some buzz baits. I saw a lot of guys in practice throwing buzz baits. Really didn't have any luck at all. And I saw like every point was covered up with boats. There was actually a B.A.S.S, I think, Nation Federation tournament going out of Okinichi the same days that we were having the BFL Super Tournament. And, you know, the boats were everywhere. And, you know, in practice, it was insane. It was just as bad in practice as it ever was in the tournament. I almost think it was worse because guys were running around trying to hit everything they could hit, and you could not get on anything. And at that point, I'm like, you know, there's boats going to be going, you know, out of one end of the lake all the way to the other end of the lake. And I know there were some local tournaments kind of in between. And really, at this point, I decided I was going to put most of my eggs in the shallow basket. I was just wasting too much time trying to find deep fish. Again, I thought it would be one deep off maybe some suspended fish out chasing bait, but I wasn't going to waste the limited practice time I had for this tournament. Didn't have much time at all for this tournament to practice, and so I decided I was going to go shallow, and that's what me and Mike did. And we hit a lot of shallow stuff, and it was a very, very frustrating practice day. All my buddies had basically the same day. You know, we kind of catch up to each other a little bit throughout the day, and I think maybe around 11 or 12, I talked to a couple guys, and most of them had no keepers. I think maybe Griff had 1 keeper or something like that. I ended up catching 1 keeper fish. You see it here, caught it shallow. Nothing really to write home about, but it was a keeper fish and it was shallow, and so I knew you could get a couple bites shallow. Hey, it is the end of practice here at Kerr. Fished all day with Mike Shatley, and Mike just took off. I caught 1 keeper, he caught 1 keeper, and I think we caught 3 shorts total, so a really tough day. We did a little bit of everything. We fished deep, we fished shallow, you know, threw some Carolina rigs, football head jigs, even went shallow through some spinner baits and chatter baits. Really didn't have any luck. Spent a lot of time up around the Clarksville area. but made it mid-lake as well. It's you know, it's going to be a challenge. I figured it'd be this way. It's 1 October now, and it's really tough here on Kerr Lake. But tournament starts tomorrow, and hey, tomorrow's a new day, and hoping to catch them tomorrow. So we'll see what happens out here.
I mean, is it as hard for you as it is for me? I caught one keeper today. Did y'all catch any keepers? You catching them, ain't you, Jeff? You're quiet over there. You catching fish?
I didn't catch any. I think I caught one today.
One keeper?
I don't know. I shook about 8 off, but you don't ever.
Good luck, fellas. Does anybody? Yeah. Anybody know where they're going? Because I'll follow somebody if you know where you're going.
Go up to the left, you go up to the light, make a left. Go down to 7th Street, ain't it, Rob?
No, it's all the way out
To the bridge. Like you're going under the underpass.
We're going to Satterwhite Point? Where are we going?
No.
Nutbush. Is it Jack Wade Road?
Yep.
What's the address?
135 South, Jack Wade. Just put in Nutbush Campground.
Nutbush Campground. All right.
Hey, if you look back and we're all going the other direction, you were wrong.
That right there, man. Keep that up. I got it. Let's just see if he makes the cut. See, I mean, that's just crazy, man. It felt like a stick. It just kept running out. He can make the cut. Yeah. He's 15 inches.
Good job, Mark.
Might be the one I need right there.
Might be what?
I said that might be just the one I need right there. Hit that old blackie. I swear, man, it was not even a bite. It just started easing sideways like I had a stick or something. You just got to check it. There we go. He long. He might. He's gonna be close. He's close. No, you can wait. He's gonna be close. Man, he's really trying. He's gonna be close. Oh yeah. Easy. 14 a quarter. You got room to work. Hey, Mark, my man. I don't understand why people do things. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. And that shake is here too. Hang on, keep. You don't need that? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, well, it's hard to believe you put a shake here and not least good short to you. Usually that gets you.
I wish he was 14, but he's not.
He ain't quite that yet.
We'll fish these pockets, and then I guess from there, I'm going to ask you where's the next place we can go.
Right.
He's got a ton of Texas rigs out, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
So at this point, it's probably 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, and we have one keeper apiece. I've
Yes,
caught
it is.
one
He's good.
short
Oh, yeah.
fish
He's gonna rock
as
pile
well,
all
and
fish
it's really looking
sometime.
pretty bleak. Not sure what to do, so I decided to make a move, and I am heading down towards the dam.
296, and it ain't nothing but mud. What? Get the net, get the net, get the net. Yeah, look at that. What do you think, bud? Damn, I'm shocked again. Shocked again. That's a nice one too.
Yeah, right. I needed that son of a bitch.
Ain't that wrong? That just messes me up, man.
All right, so this is the last stop of the day. It's probably 30 minutes before weigh-in, and I hit Marine Point. There is a Marine Corps flag that always flies in this point, and it's been pretty good to me over the years. I don't know who owns the property, but whoever it is obviously a Marine, and it's brought some good luck to me being a Marine myself. So I figured I'd give it one last shot here right before weigh-in. You know, I'm sitting with two keepers. My co-angler has one keeper. And, you know, this time it did not work out. But if anybody knows who owns this point, give them a shout out. Marine Point, it's a pretty good point for me. But this is it for the day.
Let me grab these back. No. Two, man. Hey, I take it. I didn't know if I was gonna catch a keeper when I launched.
One all day.
Oh man, I hate to hear that. Take care, man. Yep, that's me.
Danville, Virginia.
Need a couple more.
How you doing, man?
Two, Bobby.
Oh my God, we're glad to see y'all.
We'll see how it shakes out.
You guys weigh 5 pounds, 12 ounces. There you go. Otto Heck from Sneedsbury, North Carolina. Fishing on the motorcycles. Got 2 more in the bag this week. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, man.
He's 2 that's going to weigh 4 pounds and 6 ounces.
A lot of work for 4.6, I promise you.
I guarantee you worked at it.
Hey everyone, just wanted to say thanks for watching my video. I appreciate all the subscribers out there. I do all the work myself. I do all the GoPro footage, the drone footage, all the video editing. I put it all together, I post it, and it's a lot of work, frankly, and I really appreciate it. It's just something I do, and it's kind of took off a little bit. And if anybody out there ever needs something from me, as far as fishing or outdoors goes, just contact me through my channel, and I try my best to answer all the questions and give you real honest feedback. So the WIFM, welcome to the What's in It for Me portion of this video. I've had some videos on Kerr already, and if you go back and you watch those videos, you can get some good information about water levels and bushes and rocks and different techniques on Kerr, you know, how to fish docks on Kerr, things like that, you know, different portions of the lake. For this one, I think what's in it for you is paying attention to the pressure. So what happens this time of year? A lot of end of the year tournaments happen, and they're usually bigger tournaments and they have big fields. For this particular tournament, we had, you know, I think around 125 boats going out of Nutbush. I was told there was like 150 boats going out of Okinichi for a Bass Nation tournament, and there was multiple local level tournaments in between. And actually during practice, there were tournaments that were going on, you know, locals practicing before these tournaments even began. My guess is there was at a minimum 300, maybe 325 boats on Kerr Lake Saturday and Sunday for this tournament. It was insane, right? And every point, every rock pile, every, you know, lay down probably on this lake got fished. I don't really have an answer for you for pressure. How do you deal with pressure? you know, the obvious answer is we'll go somewhere else nobody is fishing, right? Whether that's deep or whether that's running somewhere that nobody else is willing to run to. Those are certainly options. I will tell you, for most of us, maybe those aren't good options. So when you're up there and you're fishing for a day or two, to spend 7-8 hours looking deep for bait fish, probably for me is not the best choice. You can try and go places that nobody else gets to, and you take a chance to losing a lower unit. And I really don't have the money or the time to lose 2 or 3 lower units. I know some guys that seem to do that every year, and it doesn't bother them. I don't know how they do it. I actually tried to go up the river, and I got to, like, the river was like a foot and a half deep in the middle of the river, okay? And I got scared, and I turned around and went back. You know, I'm not doing it. It's not worth it. I wish I had somebody that would teach me how to run the Roanoke. I don't know how to do it. You know, you get past, not too far past Buffalo Creek, and it gets really hairy. I've been up there, believe me, and I've tried it. And I've tried idling, you know, for a quarter mile, half a mile, trying to find channels and stuff, and I just never could find it. So those are 2 options for you. You know, fish deep, look for places that are not, you know, easy to see with the visible eye, or go somewhere where nobody else can get to. And I think for most of us, we have to fish what we can fish, and just be aware of the pressure. One of the things that you can do to combat the pressure is use smaller baits, fish slower, take your time. That's what I did. I used a shaky head. I used a small worm. I fished really slow. That's worked for me on Kerr numerous times before. So that's my advice to you. If those 2 options are not available to you, fish really slow. The other option is fish release areas, right? There's going to be fish that are let go around release areas, but if you're fishing release areas, again, I would fish a shaky head, some really small baits. Everyone has this idea that they're going to go to some fall fishing tournament and get on some great buzzbait bite, or, you know, some really strong crankbait bite, and they're just going to rack up the weights. I will tell you, for me, that's never happened. I was told in November, mid-November, you can go up there and catch them pretty good on Kerr with crankbaits and things like that, but, you know, there's no tournaments going on, right? That's not when the big tournaments go on in Kerr, and there's a lot less pressure, right? So maybe you can run 15, 20, 30 points in a day, fishing crankbaits, and put some decent weight in the boat. But for tournaments like this, it just doesn't happen. Fish small baits, be aware of the pressure, think about areas maybe you can get to that nobody else can't. If you've got time, fish some deep water. The other thing I want to talk to you about in this particular video is, you know, it's probably going to catch some of you off guard, but what you eat, right? I see a lot of fishermen, some are in really good shape. I see a lot of fishermen that are in very poor shape. And I think these tournaments can really be hard on your body as far as sleep goes, as far as, you know, what you eat. And I would encourage everyone out there to try to do a little meal prep and try to bring some of your own food, bring a cooler, you know, make sure you get in some sleep. That's my opinion. I think some of these guys would fish a lot better and really be competitive if they actually took care of their body and put the effort into themselves the way they do their fishing. That's one of the advantages that I have. I feel like, for, you know, I'm in pretty good shape. I work out a lot. I run. I try to watch what I eat. I get after it, right? So that is an advantage I have over some of these guys that have 20, 25 years experience on the water, and they just don't have the stamina. And I think as far as decision making goes, you know, if you study sports at all, you understand that you make better decisions when you're fit and you're rested and you're eating right. So take that for what it's worth. For the guys out there, you know, that are really good, but they don't take care of themselves, I'm giving you a tip here, right? Get yourself in good shape, and who knows, maybe you'll be a professional one day. Because some of these guys, I think really that's what holds them back, right? They've got the knowledge, they've got the skills, but physically, I think sometimes the ability holds them back. That's Otto's opinion. You know, I know everybody can point to a guy in the Elite Series or MLF or something like that is in really poor shape, that does really well. But I think for the most part, those are anomalies. And you see guys that are younger, that are in good shape, or guys that are older, that have taken care of themselves, and they're very competitive. I think Rick Clunn is a great example of that. I mean, if you look at Rick, he's in phenomenal shape for his age. And I promise you, Rick Clunn doesn't look the way he looks because he eats pizza and doesn't work out, right? So those are my tips for this particular tournament. I've got the regional coming up this week. I've got tackle in my garage. I've got rods laying everywhere. I'm not going to have any time to practice, you know, and it's going to be interesting. I literally just got back from a hiking trip up in the Blue Ridge. You know, I prioritized that over pre-fishing the Potomac because I wanted to spend some time with people that were important to me. And I'm going to go out there and try my best on the Potomac here. I've got a lot of experience on the Potomac. I think I know what I have to do, but it's fishing, right? So you never know. And to me, it's just, you know, a humbling experience to make it. This year was really tough for me. How did Otto get by this year fishing? I just went fishing. That's it. I never really had anything figured out, and it was kind of spur of the moment deal, and I just made decisions. Even the tournament on Smith Mountain Lake where I did pretty good. I forget where I finished, but it wasn't quite a top 10, but it was close, right? I did pretty good on Smith Mountain Lake, and that was just kind of fishing the day, right? And that's what I did for the whole year. I just made decisions during the day, and I managed to catch enough fish to fish the regional, and I'm there. So, hey, again, really appreciate everybody watching. I'm excited to fish the Potomac. I hope you got something out of this what's in it for me portion of the video, and you know, reach out to me in the channel if you got questions you want to know. I'll tell you what I've learned, right? Because for me, the information that I've gathered fishing has been, you know, hard, right? It has not been easy. I've not had a lot given to me fishing. You know, you hear things. I've had a little bit of help here and there, but really it's been self-taught, right? I've spent a lot of time as a co-angler over the years. I fished the Costas as a co-angler. I went to the Costa Championships. I fished the FLW Tour as a co-angler. You know, I think a lot of people don't consider that. I spent a lot of time in the back of the boat. I know a lot of guys did as well. And I'm proud to be where I'm at. And I enjoy it, and I will continue to grind away. So thanks for watching the video, and we'll see y'all next time. Next video will be on the Potomac River. Hey, see ya out here. Thanks again.